Welcome to the Feed Your Family Tonight podcast. Do you dread hearing the question, what's for dinner? Whether you spend your days keeping up with toddlers, running kids to after-school activities, or juggling a career and family, getting dinner on the table can be a struggle for us all. I'm Mariefiebach, a business owner, wife, and mom of 4. I'm on a mission to build stronger families one dinner at a time, and I'm here with tips, tricks, and inspiration you need to feed your family tonight. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Feed Your Family Tonight podcast, episode 158. I'm your host, Mariefiebach, and I am so happy to be here with you today. I am happy for many reasons, but the biggest reason is that something that I have been working on for you for months is finally out in the world, and I am just bursting with excitement to share it with you, my friends. I have figured out over the years that getting weeknight dinner on the table is so much more about time management than it is about recipes. It's not to say that recipes are bad. I have recipes. There's hundreds of recipes on my website, and I use recipes that other people have made. You need recipes, but more than that, you need to be able to get your meals planned in 10 minutes a week. I have been reverse engineering what I've been doing, and I've been researching and talking with all of the people in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group, trying to figure out where they're getting stuck and how I can help them get unstuck. And after years, really, of letting this twirl in my head, it finally has all come together. And I have for you the new Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system. Now, I call it a meal planning system because it helps you plan your meals in 10 minutes a week. But the biggest part of this system is a recipe index, not the meal planning sheet. The meal planning sheet is available for free. Anybody can get it. It's at feedyourfamilytonight.com/plan. I love sharing it with you. It's super easy, and it's a great meal planning sheet that walks you through my 3-step process for weeknight dinner success, where you start with looking at your schedule. But this meal planning system has those sheets, but it also has this incredible recipe index that I have been honing over time for you, because I really believe that a one-size-fits-all solution is not going to work. And I want you to have a system that works for you in your home with your family. And I really believe that this recipe index system is going to have the best of almost all the worlds. The only person that this recipe system really isn't for is someone who wants 100% digital solution and they don't want any paper at all. And I've got to tell you, when I've polled, most of you don't mind having a little bit of paper in your life and find that a little bit of paper makes it a lot easier. And that's what I have come up with. So this recipe index system has a series of printables where you can print out these index sheets and then use them to keep track of where your recipes are. So if you have a recipe that is on the Feed Your Family Tonight website, you can write chicken noodle bowls and then write Feed Your Family Tonight so that you know where to find that chicken noodle bowl recipe. Or if it is in your grandmother's recipe tin, or if it's in the Pioneer Woman's cookbook, you can write where that recipe is so you don't have to go and print it out, but you know where it is. I was talking with Carmen on the podcast a while back. She was here for an on-air coaching call, and she was talking about how she had made some pumpkin muffins and her family loved them. And she went to go back to find that recipe, and she can't remember which one she had used on the internet. That's where this recipe index comes in. And it's a working document that you can add to, you can take things away from, you can categorize according to proteins if you eat animal proteins, or you have blank sheets that you can customize that work for your home so that you can get all of your recipes organized in a way that makes sense to you. But it's more than that. Because, there's lots of people that have recipe index. You can put together a recipe index. There's a few things that make this system unique. The biggest thing is that it has a space for you to write the amount of time it takes to make these recipes. And I encourage you to start thinking about all of your foods into two kinds of time. You have prep time and you have cook time. Now, I call cook time anytime you are adding heat, and prep is everything else. And if you are a busy family, oftentimes you are doing the prep and the cooking at two different sessions. You might be prepping at night when you're cleaning up your dinner dishes, or in the morning after you start cooking breakfast. Or sometimes you're going to start to finish, you're going to prep and cook dinner all in one fell swoop. But then cooking is when you're adding heat. So you're putting it in the oven, you're putting it on the stove, you're putting it in the Instant Pot or the slow cooker. And some of those are fast cook times, and some of those are slower cook times. And usually the slower cook times are totally hands off. So you start seeing that a recipe may take an hour and a half to cook in the oven, but it only takes you 5 minutes to get ready. And that becomes a recipe that works for a busy night if you're home in the right window of time to throw that recipe in the oven. And this whole Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system is there to get your recipes kind of under control so that you know where they are, and so that you can start keeping track of the prep time and the cook time, so that when you go to make your weekly meal plan, you can say, oh my gosh, Monday is a crazy day. I have to be up at church for a meeting at 7, and my kids have play practice at 4:30 in the afternoon. And I've got one kid that's not even going to be here during the dinner hour. And I know that I need something that I only have 20 minutes to cook that day, and I have to be running out the door afterwards. So I need something that is fast, start to finish, super easy. And we've already had chicken 3 times this week. So I'm going to look for something that works in my beef category. And when you start using all of these categories and start using the ideas of the prep time versus the cook time, and you sync that up with the weekly meal planning sheet that looks with your schedule, then getting dinner on the table becomes so much less of a burden, because you know how to pick recipes that work for a given night in your home. Some days you're going to have time to stand at the stove for an hour, and some days you're going to need something that needs to be thrown into the slow cooker in the afternoon so that it's ready when you walk in from basketball practice or play practice or meetings or a long day at work. And when you start thinking about your recipes according to time, and you have this recipe index where you know where everything is, it is all going to start coming into place, and that feeling of dinner dread is going to start lifting, because you know what you're going to have on a given day, and you know that it's going to work with the schedule that you have. So that's why I created the Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system for you, so that you can start getting control of your weeknight dinners in your home, and that you can start gathering your family with a little bit more ease and a little bit less stress. It also really helps adding variety to your family's regular rotation. I hear over and over again, one of the biggest challenges that families face is that they feel like they're having the same things over and over again. And if you look at my weekly meal plans on Instagram, you're going to find that my family is no different. We are having a lot of the same things over and over again. And honestly, I have a whole podcast on that, about how it's okay to be boring. And in the season of life that I'm in, I'm okay with having a lot of the same things over and over again. But we also really like to try new recipes sometimes too. And the great thing about this recipe indexing system is you can try a new recipe. And I always tell people, you want to try a new recipe on your family 3 times before it kind of makes it to your main rotation. And that's because the first time you make it, your family's like, oh, this is pretty good. And the second time they're like, it's okay. And then the third time they'll say, we don't really like this. If you have a recipe that makes it to that third time and everybody's still like, this is okay, or, oh, this is great, then you know that you have a hit that can kind of make it to your master recipe index. But this system has a way for you to kind of keep track of the things that you're trying on your family. It has a place for you to kind of make some notes on there so that you know, maybe this recipe takes an extra 5 minutes to cook, or maybe you want to try a little bit more salt next time. And you can kind of keep track of those things all in one place without having random notes all over the place or having to print out everything. Now, if you're a printer, you can totally print all of your recipes and put them just behind the index in your binder that you put together. This full meal planning system has a set of 3 videos that teaches you how to set up your binder, how to use the recipe index so that it really works for your family, and then how to plan your meals using the recipe index so that you can get your weeknight dinners planned in 10 minutes a week. Doesn't that sound great? I am to the point now where I really can get my whole family meals planned, get my grocery list at least written up in 10 minutes a week. And that is what I want for you too. Because if you take those 10 minutes at the beginning of the week, you are going to give yourself so much more time at the end of the week. And with this Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system, it's going to help you plan your meals with ease so that you add variety, so that you have meals that work with your time. And it has a place for you to kind of test meals so that you can see, does your family like this? Does your family not like it? I have a whole podcast on how to pick a recipe that your family will actually eat. And if you're wanting to kind of expand your family's palate, it has some really good tips on how to try new recipes on your family without them kind of freaking out. It's kind of got a whole system of how to slowly adapt the foods that your family will eat. So this is kind of a bit of a shorter podcast, friends, but if you are interested in getting the Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system, I'll link in the show notes here, but it's at feedyourfamilytonight.com/shop. It's the Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system. You can get it right there. It's only $27, and it has all of the printables that you can print as many copies as you need for your personal use. And then it also has the video training to teach you how to get your binder set up and how to get your recipe index working, and then how to plan your meals with this binder that you have so that life is just a little bit easier. I can't wait to meet you in the Feed Your Family Tonight Facebook group to hear what you think about this new meal planning system. If you have purchased it, I would love to hear and see pictures of your binders so that we can all kind of share some ideas so that we can use the community to help us just get dinner on the table a little bit easier. So for now, friends, check out the new Feed Your Family Tonight meal planning system at feedyourfamilytonight.com/shop. I'll meet you over in the Facebook group, and we will catch you next week. Hope you're doing well. Take care.